That's a good question. The brother is saying that in the last khutbah we recited the hadith of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyone who believes in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the hereafter should honor or entertain his guest. So the brother is saying, how come or why entertaining the guest is a sign of good belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The concept of belief is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to make you a better person for yourself and for everyone around you. So, should be a good servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, doing good deeds. That is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala requires. One of the good deeds is entertaining guests. This is an established rule in Islam. It is a sign of your generosity and your humbleness and your willingness to help and support, but also it is a very important aspect of cooperation within the society, mending or making the hearts close and soft together. And that is why it becomes obligatory to entertain the guest, and the guest has the right to remain there, to be entertained for a period of 3 days. 3 days, you have to. After that, it's up to you whether you would like to. And in previous generations of Islam, when someone was traveling, when he enters a village or a city, he picks up whatever house, just knock on the door, enter and stay there. That's it. This is normal. Nothing is strange about that. Throughout, so a person will travel from the edge of the world all the way to the middle of the Islamic civilization at that time, or the opposite direction without a need of anything whatsoever. This is very important. Nowadays, sadly, many Muslims are not doing that. Find a stranger or somebody who is in need, and you are reluctant to help him, let alone entertain him. But when a guest comes to you, as per the hadith of the Messenger Muhammad, it's your obligation to entertain the guest, honor him. And we have to clarify that the concept of the hadith of the Messenger Muhammad, that is honoring the guest, depends on your ability. It does not mean that you have to give him lots of things, but whatever you could. The more you do, you will get rewarded from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is similar to a charity, a form of a charity that you give. We have one beautiful story that happened at the time of the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When a man came to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, at that time it was very difficult to preserve food for a long duration, and there were many times of famine. Very difficult. It was very difficult times in the beginning of Islam. And especially when the Muhajirin came from Mecca all the way to Medina, the people increased and it became much more difficult. Now, in one incident, a man came to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, needing place to stay and entertainment. So the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam didn't have anything whatsoever with him. Nothing. None of the Sahaba had as well. So the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, who will entertain this guest? Then one man obliged and he said, I will, O Messenger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He took him back home. Now he had very little with him. SubhanAllah, very little. So when he came back home, the wife said, what will we give him? We have nothing, absolutely nothing, very little. He said, I couldn't, I was waiting for someone, but nobody was willing. Everybody was poor, he didn't have anything with him. So I had to. At least we have something little with us. So, okay, what to do now? Said, okay, when you bring the food, just turn off the light. Turn off the candle that they had. Just turn it off and bring the food. So when they brought the food, they turned on the light and they made themselves as if they were eating with the guest. He was eating alone. The food was barely enough for a single person. He didn't eat anything, the wife didn't eat anything, and the children didn't eat anything, subhanAllah. In the morning when he came to the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam after the salah called upon him. And he said, Allah Almighty is wondering over the action of you and your wife, subhanAllah. How wondrous that was, this action of generosity and this trick that you and your wife went to just to entertain the guest so that he will not feel that he is a burden upon the family, subhanAllah. We have many similar examples as well. Now, entertaining the guest is a fruit of the religion. You believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have to be good, you have to be generous, you have to do something. This is one of the fruits of it. That is the end result of being a good servant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you do the obligation, the pillars of Islam, etc. But now it should show, reflect on your action with other people. One of the examples that the Messenger Muhammad gave is this: entertaining a stranger, someone you do not know. Because entertaining a guest that you know, this is simple. Everybody does it. If your father or mother comes to you as a guest, that is of course his house, but you will still entertain him, or your brother, or your friend. Nothing strange about that, right? Everybody does it. Muslims or non-Muslims, right? Entertaining guest is not limited to the people that you know. Anyone who calls upon you, that is a guest. And the entertainment or honor of a guest starts from the moment you receive him, with a smile, with a shake of hand, with willingness, without making him feel that he is heavy or stranger or difficult upon you, or that you are busy, not ready for him, etc. All the way to the providing him with his need for this duration. After that, it's up to you. You can just excuse yourself, or you can continue if you'd like to. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows this now.
Non-Muslims also, right?
Same, does not apply. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But there are some limitations regarding non-Muslim because of the family household or the place of sleep, etc. Yes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows this now. Not to the extent that you just ignore it altogether like this time. Now, for example, if you are in a small house or a small flat and there is no place for a guest whatsoever, that's most people who are expatriates are like that. You can provide for him a place to stay in a hotel, for example, or a hostel, or give him some money to help him out, etc. It could work out. There could be some other ways when there is no possibility of entertaining him yourself. Yes. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best now. Sallallahu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.